Welcome to my channel. I'm Love Spell, a queen with a pen. On this channel, I upload a podcast bi-weekly that speaks on subjects like toxic behavior, self-love, and shadow work. In the meantime, in between time, I'll be uploading videos that dive into subjects like manifestation, how to bring your vibration up, and how to vibe high and stay there. If that seems like something that you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and ring that bell. We about to stir up the pot. Are y'all ready or not? In today's age, everyone's got goals and aspirations that they're trying to accomplish. Everyone's on a path to being a better version of themselves, being the greatest that they could possibly be in this lifetime, especially since we only have one life to live, right? Well, I'm going to give you 5 steps in order to set goals and make sure that you accomplish those goals. Let's get into it. So the first step that you need to start with is deciding what is your desired outcome. What is the end game? Where are you trying to end up? If you can see the finish line, then you can start a path in order to guide yourself in that direction. The finish line is the major goal. You're going to need a couple of tools. You can either purchase a notebook, you can purchase a dry erase board, or you can purchase some poster board. Of course, from the 99-cent store, I'm a 99-cent store queen. Now, here's the thing. If you're the type of person who does not do well with procrastination, that you procrastinate regularly, or you drop the ball completely on your goals and aspirations, then do not get a notebook. It's not for you. Notebooks are for people who already are self-disciplined, because the truth of the matter is you can tuck the notebook away and then it's out of sight, out of mind. That's the end of it, if we want to be dry and honest. My favorite tool to use is a dry erase board. I started out with the poster boards at first because I could set my goals, and I used to have 3 of them. This is a little tip. I used to have 3 of them. I would have one that had all of my short-term goals. And short-term goals are the things that you want to do within a, 6 months to 12-month period. Then I would have another poster board that would talk about my longer term goals. That would be 1 to 3 years. Then I would have a long-term goal poster board. And that would be things that in the future I wanted to get to, but I did not want to forget them as goals for myself. So I would obviously start with goals on my short-term board, and I will cross them out as time went on. I have graduated from that. I've put all of that into a notebook because I am more disciplined now, and I'll show you the steps to get there. But I do have a dry erase board, and I like that one because I can write down my goals for the month. I can write down my goals the same way that I would do a poster board, but I can clear them out and start anew. When the time comes up for me to change things out, I can add. It's just much easier and simple. So again, poster board, notebook, or dry erase. But if you're new to this, poster board or dry erase board. And here's the thing. Once you've got your tools and you've decided what is the major goal. So for example, I'm going to say my goal is to lose weight, which actually is my goal. Lose weight. The thing, that the outcome is losing weight, but you need to be a little more specific. The outcome, what I'm desired, is that I will lose 20 pounds. I want to be 20 pounds lighter. That is my desired outcome. Once I've set that desired outcome, the next step for me to set is how I will accomplish that outcome. Now that you've decided on the end game, what is your desired outcome, the second thing that you need to do is to make smaller goals. This is good because this helps you reach the larger goal. It acts as a stairway, one step leading to the next one until you finally reach your final destination, which is your ultimate goal. The reason why this is vital and important is because the human mind is wrapped around immediate gratification. A lot of times when you have a very large goal, you spend so long working on it and see no actual results or accomplishment. And when that happens, the mind starts to become discouraged. A lot of times the ego will set in and try to save you from failure, because at this point, you're not seeing what you're trying to accomplish. When you set smaller goals, you give your mind that immediate gratification of triumph. of being, on the right path, of doing great, of getting reward. And what that does is serve your ego the boost that it needs to continue fighting towards the larger goal. So, for example, in my weight loss journey, my original amount of weight to lose was about 40 pounds. I am halfway there. I have 20 pounds left to lose. Now, of course, there were a couple of factors that I had to go through in order to get to this point. And of course, it was the mental and emotional turmoil that I was in the first place that caused me to gain weight and had me not ready in order to start to work on it. But once I got to the point that I was ready to start my journey in weight loss, what I had to do was set smaller goals for myself in losing pounds. So instead of saying that I wanted to lose 40 pounds, which I did as my larger goal, I set aside, I want to get more active as my first step towards reaching my goal. So what I started doing first was going to the gym every day, getting up and doing a walk on the treadmill. Every day getting up and doing a walk on the streets when the gym wasn't open. But first, getting my body moving was the first step. There was no goal. I wasn't pushing myself to, run a mile. None of that. It was just getting myself moving. Once I had gotten to the point that I had made that a regular routine, that I had accomplished that goal and I was feeling good about myself, I was feeling triumph, in that category, I moved forward to setting another goal that pushed me just a tad bit further in the direction that I was heading in. So my next step was that I was going to change my diet. Now, of course, it was not drastic when I changed my diet. I just decided I was going to eliminate fast food completely. I was going to still eat whatever I wanted to, but I was going to eliminate fast food out of my diet completely. If it didn't come from home, I wasn't going to eat it. And I pushed myself in that direction to continue to do that. There were times that I met failure. And we'll talk about that later, what you should do about that. But in the meantime, in between time, when I fell off the wagon and had me a burger or had me some fries or what have you, I slapped myself on the wrist about it. And then I got back on the wagon and continued on the path until I got to a point when I was able to completely stay away from fast food and pack my lunch. I was even getting to the point that I was packing my lunches just to go to my friend's house or just to be out in the streets because I knew I might have been gone for a long period of time and not be able to cook a lunch. Now, as I moved further along the path, my next step was to restrict my diet even more. Now I went beyond just eating, regular house food to staying away from carbohydrates and going on a straight keto diet. Once I did that, I got the ball truly rolling. I went from doing a keto diet in those 2 weeks to the next 2 weeks after that, really going into a full workout. Now I'm at the point where I'm dropping a substantial amount of weight in a substantial amount of time, and I'm dedicated to it in a way that I hadn't been before because I myself have trained my ego or have given my ego the bliss that it needed, the that says, yeah, I'm gonna win this. Now my ego is not trying to hold me or trick me into stopping so that I won't fall off and embarrass myself. Little steps, like a staircase leading up to your goal, is how you will succeed and accomplish that goal without actually having to, fight through yourself in order to get it done. Now that you've decided what your outcome is going to be and you've set smaller goals that lead to the bigger picture, the third thing that you need to do is hold yourself accountable. Yes, I'm fully aware that holding yourself accountable is easier said than done. It's actually one of the things that I have the hardest problem with besides procrastination. But I do have 3 tips that will help you push forward through this in order for you to continue on your path to success. Okay, so the first thing that you should do is set a deadline for yourself. Always set a deadline for yourself. Because what ends up happening is, if you do not set a deadline for yourself, you'll say things like, oh, I would like to write a book. I'm going to start my book. You might even go in and start typing a couple of pages. And then I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. Turns into, oh, I'll start on it again next week. Turns into you haven't done it in weeks, and boom, it's still not done. A year later, you're looking up and you're still wanting to write a book. When you set a deadline for yourself, and it can still be small, you'll say, I want to write 50 pages in the next 60 days. So from whatever date 60 days is from now, I should have 50 pages completely done. That is my deadline. It calls for you to do some action. And every day that you procrastinate or put that deadline off or do not, work on your page, then you can do a countdown in your head. I mean, it gives you anxiety, but sometimes giving that anxiety type of push is what people need in order to get it done or whatever. So yeah, you'll look up like, oh crap, I only have 50 days left, I only have 40 days left or whatever. And it might push you in a direction to continue to say, okay, well, look, let me get started, because if I don't, I won't make my deadline. The second thing that you need to do, or you can do in order to push past, this procrastination, is to write it out. Write out what you've done towards your goals. And you can do this in your cell phone. You can set it as a reminder, like, question yourself. Like I used to set on my cell phone, have you, worked out today? Did you work out today? It's annoying. It's most definitely annoying, but you need to be annoyed, because what you've done has been so lackadaisical and not held yourself accountable to nothing that you haven't accomplished anything. So yes, reminders in your cell phone, writing it down on your cell phone. Hell, if you have social media, posting on your social media, still procrastinating, still haven't done what I needed to do. See how other people will push you. And that's my third tip. Find somebody else who's going to hold you accountable. That annoying family member, sister, cousin, whoever who wants to see you shine, who's got your best interest at heart, tell them what your goal is, what's your deadline, and I would like you to help me hold myself accountable. The best thing in the world is when someone calls you up and it's like, hey, hi, how you doing? Kimberly, hi. How many pages of your book have you written? And you're like, yeah. It's embarrassing, isn't it? Yes. Embarrass yourself out of that comfort zone of just being lazy. Embarrass yourself out of that comfort zone of not accomplishing your goals, because you want to be a better version of yourself. You want to be accomplished. You want to complete those goals and feel good about yourself inside. So if you cannot hold yourself accountable on your own, then implement and employ all the people that are in your corner that will do it with you. The fourth step is balance. Often when we, get these bright ideas about what we want to do, the new goals that we want to accomplish, the new things we want to venture into, we have this energy about ourselves, which is a grand energy. And so we hit the floor running. Problem is, you usually run so fast that you stumble upon yourself and fall. And once you hit the ground and scrape up all your knees or whatever, you stand up and you go, ooh, I don't know about that. Let me take a break. And then you never come back to it. So balance, pacing yourself. Slow and steady wins the race. Consistency gets you across the finish line, not sprinting with a bunch of stuff in your hands. If you have goals that you want to acquire, do not force yourself into a speedy delivery, wanting speedy results. Remember that is just feeding your ego and trying to get your self-gratification on. That's not what you're here for. What you want is a durable, lasting outcome. And you will only get that if you've taken your time and went through the process, gained what you needed to gain, and accomplished what you needed to accomplish, not diving head first into it and then running out of steam before you can even get to the finish line. Not only is it discouraging for the next venture that you want to get into, but you leave behind you a trail of unaccomplished accomplishments. All of these goals that you set for yourself that are not incomplete. A sea of, I don't know, I call it like the inspirational morgue or the inspirational cemetery, a bunch of dead ideas that I half-assed did, barely got through, burnt through and couldn't complete because it was too much for me. When really it wasn't too much for me, it was just that I was doing too much. So, fourth thing out the gate, slow down, Jackrabbit. And last but not least, fifth thing or step that you need to do in order to get into your accomplishments. Now, I'm going to roll a couple of things in one with this one. 1, accept your failures as revises. You did not fail as short-term goals that lead up to long-term goals. It just means that you need to revamp the way you're doing things because it's not going to work like that. Accept your failures as revises. Second thing you need to do is celebrate every single triumph. Give your ego that boost that it needs in order for you to push through and get to the next one, Rocky. You get what I'm saying? Give yourself that pat on the back because you deserve it and because you're putting in the work. Yes. So, remember, there are no failures in trying to go towards your goals. The only failure you have is when you sit back and don't attack what you need to attack to get to where you need to be. That's the only failure. Accept your triumphs. Know that you're great. Know that you're doing well. Pat yourself on the back. Celebrate. Go out there and enjoy and bask in your bask in your abilities, your skills, and uplift yourself. That's what you're here to do. That's the point of having goals in the first place. We only got one life to live, you guys. Only one. Get what you want to get. Live how you want to live and do what you want to do. Okay, so let's do a little recap. 1, what is your desired outcome? What is the end game? 2, set little goals that lead you onto a path of getting your desired outcome. 3, hold yourself accountable. I know it's hard, but you can do this. 4, pace yourself. Slow down. How you gonna run to the finish line with all them goals in your hands? And 5, every mistake is not an L, but every win damn sure is a celebration. Comment down below if you're going to be setting goals and accomplishing the rest of 2021. I've been stirring up this pot for long enough. Bye for now.